Welcome to some more Flat Earth Science, where we break down the Flat Earth design that no one else talks about. You certainly won't get it from school or the scientists. They'll want you to think you live on a spinning ball, but this is the site where you come to find out how it all works. You have to open up your mind though, because it's beyond human comprehension. It's not all physical. Just because you live in a physical world where you think everything's physical doesn't mean you're created from a physical system. It's basically a non-seen system. Nothing is physical really. Only our five senses make us believe they're physical. But today we're going to talk about the Milky Way, how the Milky Way works on the flat Earth. And to understand this, you have to understand this concept here. It's the flat Earth looking down on it. It's the south, centre, north. The tropics in the middle. And the magnetic field lines. We live in a magnetic field. Toroidal field, like this. But it's a dual system. It has a gap around here for the tropics. There's the gap. The magnetic fields that come out of the south towards into the tropics, out of the north to the tropics. They do not go right round a ball like you've been taught. Utter rubbish. 100% lie. Whether they know it or not, I don't know if they're lying. Whether they know they're lying or not, I do not know, but they're pretty... It's in la la land. Absolute garbage. They know this. They know it in their weather patterns. It goes to the tropics. You see, Earth breaks down just like a magnet. Even in a magnet, you've been taught the basic. You've been told it goes like this. Fake news. If you stop at that, that's fake news. I've done another video on all this. Check that one out. But anyway, in the centre of Earth, this is sliced through the middle, looking that way. We have this hidden area here. It's known to the ancients as the tree of life. Everything is in there. Everything that creates our realm out here is a donut. Sliced through the middle. It's the same as that, just right around. It's been created from in here. The sun, the black hole. The black hole is an amplifier and it's created our whole realm. This electrical system in here, where the sun has been created in the black hole, creates a magnetic field that we now all exist in. It's like the Big Bang created life. As this electrical system here created the magnetic field, we then break it down again and find the magnetic field with its own electrical field. And that's the tropics in the centre. So then you break it down again. You're now out here, and you find we have another electrical system out here on a smaller scale. 45 degrees south, 45 degrees north. I've done a video on that, so check that one out. But back to the centre here, the vortex. This is the magnetic vortex. Comes up off the Arctic. High pressure. Some high pressure passes by, comes over and down to the tropics. Just as it comes out of the Antarctica into the tropics. Got the high pressure going down, what's happening? We're getting the low pressure coming back up because everything's like this, it's a dual system with counter forces. So we've got this coming into here, rushing back into here, the low pressure rushing into here to the high pressure zone coming off off the Arctic. And together they get squeezed into a choke point where it creates the sun in the black hole. That's how we create plasma, the tight magnetic field. And there, this system up here, coming back in here, spiraling down into here, is the Milky Way. The Milky Way sits vertical in here. We see everything out here horizontally, but it sits vertically in here. I'll expand that picture. So basically we have this cross. Plato mentions the cross in Plato's dialogues in the Timaeus. There's the cross. we get this coming back in here, down to here, into the sun. This is the Milky Way. There's the main vortex. So we get some high pressure passing by, but we get a lot coming into here, into this choke point, rushing up to the sun, black hole, bang, plasma. Then we have other high pressure flowing out, but it's the low pressure coming from the tropics that shoots back in here. And you have to imagine it like vortexing water. It's always turning, but it's all just super slow motion. It's like the pump is the two daily cycle of the tides. This is how everything works on our Earth. Spiralling up, spiralling down type of thing. They're the tides twice a day. That's the moon once a month, and the sun over the year, the whole season. South summer, northern summer. They know it does this. And this is why the Egyptians have left us pyramids. Because it's basically what everything's doing. Up, down, up, down. The planets sit in there like this. And the moon goes up and down as it goes around. But instead of a pyramid, it's really a cone. But the Egyptians had built the pyramids to show us everything. The pyramids in Egypt, the 3 pyramids in Egypt, break down to show us everything to do with Earth. But it's just been ignored. No one understands it. I break it down on this channel, bit by bit. Anyway, so there's the Milky Way. It's vertical. You've got the ring of fire. The actual ring of fire is the ring of the planets around here. We see like this, and the sun's at the centre, but in actual fact it's what the Egyptians left us like this. But we compact it down, don't we? And the sun's up here. The moon moves up and down. Full moon, new moon. So there you have the Milky Way sitting vertical in here. Now how do we see it in our realm? Well, we all have our own arc of horizon. We look up there into the sky, we'll see the celestial bodies go straight across the sky because that is our arc of horizon. It's in the field, it's in the ether, nothing's an object. It's all based on frequencies set into the ether. The ether they deny. Call it whatever you want. It's in the air, atmosphere. Atmosphere, what was known back in the day as fire and water, because the electricity, the magnetism and the water. So we all have this straight horizon. So we'll see things curve straight in our horizon, but it's actually a curve. It's our arc, I should say. Our arc. It arcs that way, but it seems to be straight across the sky, but it's actually arcing like this. So we all have an arc of horizon. We don't see the actual bodies passing around the Earth like this in the ecliptic region. We have an arc like this. So when we see something going off in the distance, moving around here, it's actually coming down here, going like west, southwest. But in reality it's moving away around here. So it starts over here in the east, slightly east of south. If you're, say, living in the south somewhere like New Zealand, there's my arc. Early on the evening I'll see the star. Let's back up a little bit. The Milky Way houses the sun. The sun is in here. The sun is in the Milky Way. So it's tucked into the Milky Way. Religion speaks of it as being Jesus, the Son, born in the manger. What's the manger? The manger is a long trough. Long trough is the Milky Way. Other myths and legends, cultures have it as the dragon or a snake, a serpent, whatever. But the sun is tucked into the Milky Way. I've done a lot of videos on this. It's the Eye of Ra type thing. So it's basically like this. forget actually, been a while. So imagine that's the Milky Way. Eye of Ra. The sun is tucked in here. And this is the black hole basically. That's the black hole. It's the cosmic egg and the sun is over here. It's like the yolk in an egg. It's tucked in. So daylight is this way. This was considered as the breastplate in religion. It's the Milky Way coming right down around here like this. So the full moon is actually up here, close to the sun, but that's the back of the sun, hidden in behind the Milky Way. Daylight is this way. It's frequencies based on frequencies. The black hole is the amplifier. This is daytime, nighttime, full moon. New moon will be up over here where you don't see it. It's in the light. It gets dissolved, but that's another story. So the sun is tucked in to the Milky Way in here. So when we see the Milky Way at night, it's sort of like this up in the sky. If you've got a good telescope, you'll see the light. Very good telescope is very bright light. That is the back of the sun. You can't see with our naked eyes because it's tucked in behind all the stars in the Milky Way. But that's what it is. Now, if you're in the south, then in the evening you'll see the bright light of the sun. Because the sun is turning in the centre here. It's turning. This whole vortex turns 24/7. That's a day. 360 rotation is a day. That sun, tucked in the Milky Way, turns. At daylight, it turns. That's your day. So this is turning. The whole system's turning. Because it all begins from way back here, and that's what turns the whole clock system from the centre here. So the sun has now gone away in the evening, facing out here, gone that far. We start seeing in our horizon a faint light of the back of the sun. But let's bring it back round to our horizon here. So we'll see it way out here looking south. It's basically southeast, slightly east of south. And that's the way it starts. It might actually, yeah, so it will, because it's over there, it'll actually be like this. But as it moves around here, which you can't tell, it starts going like this, straight, and then starts curling over like that. But we don't see it go around there, do we? No, we see it come over in our arc. So it starts disappearing this side, over here. So as it passes down in here, around comes morning time again. Morning. Because it's passed away, it's gone right round. As it's moving across here, this is turning around. It's the Milky Way and they're turning. The back of the sun, moving around here. We're getting this arc here, as I'm drawing it that is, because we've got a concave sky out here. It's the way the sky goes. It's flat to the tropics, from what we see. There is the main system that is more spherical that comes right over here. This is secondary where we dwell. That's what we know. It's flat to the tropics. Polaris is straight up there in a flat sky. It's from there, it's concaved. And you have to understand how a concave system works. Everything is projected to a centre point. It's your centre of rotation. We all have our own horizon out here. Everybody's looking between north and south. We're all getting a south view of a rotation. This rotation is rotating all the way around here. I've done plenty of videos on that. Check that one out. That'll blow your mind. That's how it works. It moves around here. Because this whole system, that's turning and this turning. They're turning together as as this moves all the way around, being pulled down into the tropics, down into Earth. This is the sine wave. It's negative down there, positive up here. Positive comes down, negative through the Earth, back up to the system. At the same time, this is flowing back into there. So I've done plenty of videos on that. So this is the way the Milky Way works. So the sun, you'll see the sun here, starts off here, and it starts moving all the way around in the Milky Way as the Milky Way gets pulled over to disappear over here. Then comes morning. Now, as a good reference point at this time of the year is the Orion's belt. The Milky Way will be pulled towards the Milky Way, Orion's belt. That's the end of it. That's the start of it. It's basically the center point here, where the planets are, the ecliptic. So really the Milky Way is starting from here up to there. This top of the Milky Way is the Southern Cross out here. It's the Southern Cross. It's at the top here. Comes out over here. It's the top end over here, seen down here in the far south. This end is this end. That's Orion's belt. So when you see Orion's belt up in the sky, you know that's the start of the Milky Way. And it finishes out there, southward. The Southern Cross, that's the other end. And you see it curving as it comes around overnight. It starts off straightish when you see it, but as this moves around, it starts pulling around, and then this is your horizon following down here. You don't see it passing around, heading west, northwest. So you come down southwest, down, just like this. So the sun is moving, the back of the sun is moving around like this in the Milky Way. Now I've drawn the sun in the center of the Milky Way. I've always assumed that it is, but when I'm thinking of this, it has to be. It's still there though. I have to look further into that, but anyone with a good telescope, get out there, check it out, find out. Say like midnight when it's you've got more of an arc between, well, Orion belt's about to disappear. So you'll have to get a star trail camera set up to find out the gap. You'll see the gap, the star trails. You see the northern and the southern will be like this. There'll be a gap. This is where Orion's belt passes through normally. But you'll find the stars are straight through here. The rest will be like this. Looking from the south, that's north, and that's their horizon. Then I see all this over here, but around the other way if you're in the north, obviously. But that's how it works, and everything's always moving because this is always turning. It always turns. You do not live on a ball. This is turning. This circle here is rotating with the northern rotation all the way around here overnight to come back to the exact same spot. I've done a previous video on this showing you that. That's what an equatorial mount will show you. They'll show you a star doing a curving out westward. It doesn't mean the Earth is turning. It does not turn. This formation turns because this is a projection from in here. Everything is a projection. The whole night sky is all projected from in here. The black hole has created everything. Now the Big Bang probably created everything we see in our night sky. But it's in just slow motion, so it takes from maybe the sun to there. That's your precession of the equinox of the whole 26,000 years for that star to wind up to there before it gets sucked back into here, into the Milky Way, to be drawn back down to the sun. So the bang, sun might have created the Milky Way, so all the shrapnel comes up, but anything in the zone is getting pulled back down into the sun. And if you know the Milky Way at all, you know it's that helix shape. It's a helix shape because it's been spiraling back down to the sun. So this is considered the electrical side. This is the magnetic side, the electron side, the proton side. The electron side, as you cross again, is where all the planets sit on their lines. That's dead level, that's at the equinox, otherwise they start tilting upwards in the season. Start off at Aries, all the way up 24.3 degrees, 23.4 degrees to Cancer. It's the sun. The sun follows these magnetic lines. The sun doesn't move, it stays there and turns in the black hole. But the magnetic field of the vortex goes like this as it turns over the season. It's a maximum tilt up there, March 21st, Cancer. Maximum tilt downwards, December solstice, 21st. That's what it does as it turns. So that's the yearly movement, and that's the monthly movement of the moon. Then you got the double daily cycles of the tides. I do not think the tides are managed by the moon and the sun. It's more than that. Still working on that, but I think it might be connected with the planets. You've got the sun doing its job for the year. We have the moon doing its job for the month. I'm thinking the planets are doing their job for the day. Because the moon is not doing something twice per day. You can't believe the fact the moon over here alters the tides the same where they're doing it. In science, it's trying to tell you it's acting here and there on the other side of the globe. But there could be a connection, but I'm working on that one. So everything's about frequencies. Light is frequencies. Nothing physical in the sky. There's nothing physical in the sky except the solidification of volcanic ash, nickel and iron, cooled with ice to create a meteorite maybe, or the heat up here, ionosphere, condensing it to solid pieces, not so big, and they eventually fall, just like hail does eventually fall. But nothing in here, no asteroids, comets, or anything will ever hurt man. It's pure rubbish. It's only NASA and science, whatever they're up to, creating havoc in the skies. So is that enough on the Milky Way? It all starts, it's all from the centre, turns. You'll all get your own arc of horizon. No matter where you are around here at your time of the night, you'll get your arc. The Milky Way is vertical in here. Top is bottom. This point, the sun, planets are seen in this tropic region around here. There's another thing in astrology. Astrology, they'll show you that you're a little bit out, because they'll show you Orion's belt, right? There's Orion's belt, and looking south from the north, they've got the ecliptic way up here. No, centre of the ecliptic's through here. That's that gap. Orion's belt fits in here nicely, and that is the centre. It's the centre of the ecliptic. Another thing with these Orion's belt here, everything's based on frequencies, right? Well, you come right back to the centre here, and if you've got let's say you got Orion's belt here. Let me alter that a little bit. Let's do a bigger picture. Let's say you're right back at the black hole, right? The sun's in here. And let's say you got Orion's belt in here. It's basically, that's not how it works. Go backwards. Black hole, there's the sun. You're going. Everything is based on frequencies, sound waves from the black hole that creates our realm. This is why everything gets bigger as it goes south. And you look at the shape in here, and then you look up at Orion's belt, and the most northern one is the short one. And then it goes like this. That shows you the black hole, the amplification. You don't see this, it just carries on, but basically it's like this. Amplified out from the black hole. There's a message everywhere in the night sky. Egyptians, mythology, religions, it's all there. You just have to understand it. It takes a lot of thought. Hope everybody understands this. Tree of life. Don't eat from the apple or you will surely die. You don't die, your physical understanding of all the BS you were born into, that gets shown up as what it is, BS. And you're reborn into the spiritual, you understand what's really going on. So you come to understand all this stuff here. Once you understand how everything works in here,